NFL teams want to avoid players suffering heat stroke on the field, so regulations are in place for heat safety. For Albertus Magnus and Pleasantville, tough losses last week, but they want to make sure they bounce back, get on the right foot. When players come inside the body recovery zone, they spend about 5 to 6 minutes inside. The athletic staff here at LSU is already looking at data that tells them exactly how much a player's core temperature drops when inside the unit. The NWHL says the first regular season outdoor game was a success. Over 1,200 fans attended the contest. For Hanover Park, they like how they've played in the first half offensively. However, they said that they have to do a better job defensively. Class members were right. This workout was absolutely intense, but I did not throw in the towel as I completed the workout. Beside elements affecting play on the field, the cities where teams play their games and the specific stadiums that they play their games in are also a factor. Once layered up and ready to go, trainers like Slater say it's important to know that winter outdoor exercise has some health benefits. They have a lot of great energy, and I saw here on the sideline after their first touchdown, a lot of players picking each other up. Although recent summer camp temperatures for the New York Mets has been relatively comfortable, the team knows that things can change rather quickly. Last time they played Wagner, they were able to force a lot of turnovers and get easy buckets. Many players say they relish the opportunity to play a professional hockey game in an outdoor arena. What they say is difficult, though, is preparing for the elements. Definitely could exceed or meet last year's expectations. The reason why, Ralph? They've got a ton of experience bringing back a lot of players, key ones, at the skill positions, and that should bode well for them this season. Rosen tells me as the weather and water get warmer, he's hoping for some nice, easy-breaking waves that he can enjoy this summer. But whenever he grabs his surfboard, he'll be sure to keep his eye on the weather. Reporting for Accuweather, I'm Dexter Henry. Bright and early on a summer morning in New York City, a group of workout warriors are already active. Sports performance studio Tone House is bringing the gym to East River Park.
Once we were allowed to go outside, Cuomo allowed us to go outside to up to 50 people outside. That's when we decided to bring the outdoor workouts back. To allow people to fresh air, to run, work on their respiratory system some more. Here we go, face the FDR.
Alonzo Wilson, founder and director of training at Tone House, says his studio adapted once the COVID-19 pandemic forced gyms to shut down. Now he leads outdoor training classes in the middle of the summer with an eye on heat safety.
They're going to come out here in the morning, and then they'll come out here in the afternoon, in the evening time. So you try to stay away from the midday. The 12 o'clocks, the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. It's way too hot.
On this morning with temperatures in the low 80s, veteran class members tell me they appreciate exercising at cooler times of the day because the classes test their limits.
It's hot, but you take care of yourself, you drink water, you try to go in the shade when you can, and you get through it.
During, obviously, it's really difficult as you're going through it, but when you're done, it's just the best sense of relief and accomplishment that you just can't get at home.
I decided to see just how challenging an intermediate court class was out in the elements. Participating in the exercises and using every muscle in my body allowed me to understand why some members say finishing is the best feeling.
The high that happens after, the endorphins release is different when you're doing outdoor class, or just like this type of workout where you can move around.
The class members were right. This workout was absolutely intense, but I did not throw in the towel as I completed the workout. And one of the things I learned about these Tone House classes is that there's only one weather condition that can stop these outdoor workouts.
If there's lightning out there, we won't practice. If there's rain out here, guess what? We're still out here. Only thing that stops us is lightning.
Tone House tells me they are excited about the future of outdoor workout classes. And if the pandemic continues into the winter months, they will be ready.
If there's snow, you're gonna see us out here with snow gloves on, a coat, and we'll be banging it out. Because it's sports performance, it's sports, it's what it is.
People will dress appropriately, and I'm gonna give it a try. If we can't get back inside, I'll keep coming as long as I can, and we'll just adapt to the weather.
Who's else? Who's else? Awesome job, you guys. Happy Wednesday.
Reporting in New York City for Accuweather, I'm Dexter Henry.
But when you hit it right and you're riding down the face of an open wave and you're still trying not to sink your nose, it's a really thrilling, exhilarating experience like no other. And it really is a brief and fleeting moment that you really can't describe it to words unless you've been there.
Brendan Rosen loves the sport of surfing. He's been recreationally surfing for 20 years. The New Jersey native enjoys riding the waves along the oceanside town of Beach Haven and says weather impacts the sport.
Wind direction is probably the biggest thing from a weather standpoint. Tide times is another thing.
Rosen says there is an ideal tide level that works for surfers.
You kind of want something in between where you have like a nice big open face wave comfortably away from the shoreline, so you can have a nice, tall, thrilling ride.
And for his perfect day of surfing in the Northeast, the water temperature has to be just right.
And mid-July is when it starts to turn 68, 70, 71, 72. That's when it's really comfortable. It's really nice. That's when the sun's shining. Ideally, you want that board short weather where you can kind of go out without a wetsuit.
Rosen and other surfers are always monitoring the weather before they hit the beach, but sometimes the weather isn't always ideal.
Tropical storm conditions are likely within the next 36 hours, and you can see the tropical storm warnings from Cape May, New Jersey, all the way up toward the Long Island Sound.
As Tropical Storm Faye heads up the northeastern seaboard, surfing may come to a halt if high tides become dangerous. However, storms usually leave behind waves surfers seek.
The few days after a storm is when you get unforgettable waves for 3 to 4 days, maybe a week, depending. It's really the after the hurricane that kind of tends to clean it up, make it big, make it nice, and that's the sweet spot for people to go out in the Northeast.
As Tropical Storm Faye makes its way up the East Coast, Rosen tells me as the weather and water get warmer, he's hoping for some nice, easy-breaking waves that he can enjoy this summer. But whenever he grabs his surfboard, he'll be sure to keep his eye on the weather. Reporting for Accuweather, I'm Dexter Henry. Over 1,200 hockey fans gathered in Buffalo, New York to watch sports history.
Oh, this is amazing. It's just like an opportunity that we've never seen before, and I'm so happy for the girls that are actually here to play them.
They came out to watch the first ever regular season outdoor game between teams in the National Women's Hockey League. The hometown Buffalo Beauts faced off against the Metropolitan Riveters. With game time temperatures around 35 degrees, staying warm was the goal.
Layer.
Lots of
layers.
Lots of layers.
I've got 2 layers here. And then I've got my boots, and I've got two layers here on my gloves.
Let's go, Buffalo!
For one small group of fans, it was all about blankets.
This is second season with the blankets. We're happy to bring them outdoors, and they show their quality out here for sure, keeping us warm.
During outdoor hockey games, it's not just the fans that have to worry about preparing for the weather, but also those who help bring the games to the ones that can't be close to the ice.
A lot of times the rink, when we call a game indoors, is pretty chilly too, so this is not uncharted territory for us.
Announcers Steve Bermel and Justin Ehrig were on the call for the live broadcast of the game.
Nova comes near side. It's foul. Shoot. This is the right side of the net.
The duo layered up for the outdoor event, but they had to protect their most valuable asset from the cold.
I told Justin this morning, I said, I'm going to make sure I bring some throat drops for us. We're talking for a half hour straight, so the cold air mixed with that might do a number on the vocal cords.
The fans were vocal throughout the night and hope that there will be more outdoor NWHL games in the future. Reporting in Buffalo, New York for Accuweather, I'm Dexter Henry.